Dear chosen ones, have you ever felt like you just don't quite fit in with big crowds, even when everyone else seems to be having a blast? Or maybe you've noticed someone who seems to have this invisible shield around them, not mean, but just separate, focused, almost like they're listening to a song no one else can hear. It's a strange feeling, isn't it, to be in a world buzzing with people, yet feel most yourself when things are quiet and you're on your own or with just a very few trusted friends. This isn't about being shy or not liking people. It's something deeper, something that many who feel a unique calling or purpose experience. We're going to dive into why these chosen ones, these individuals who often carry a special spark or a heavy weight of purpose, often can't be around a lot of people for long periods, and the answers might surprise you and even make you see yourself or others in a whole new light. If you've ever felt this way, hit that like button. Let's see how many of us are out there. Imagine your brain is like a superpowered radio receiver, one that picks up not just sounds, but feelings, thoughts, and the invisible energy that people give off. For some individuals, often called chosen ones because they seem to have a unique path or insight, this receiver is tuned to an incredibly sensitive frequency. When they walk into a room full of people, it's not just a crowd they see. It's an overwhelming wave of different emotional signals, like hundreds of radio stations blasting at once, some happy, some sad, some angry, some worried. They feel the excitement of one person, the quiet sadness of another, the nervous energy of someone else, all at the same time. This isn't a magical power like in a comic book, but a profound level of empathy and sensitivity that can be incredibly draining. It's like trying to listen to your favorite quiet song while a dozen different heavy metal bands are playing in the same small room. The sheer volume of emotional information is too much, making it hard to think, hard to focus, and even harder to just be themselves. This intense sensitivity means that being in large groups isn't just a little tiring for them. It can be completely overwhelming, leading to what some call empathy overload or sensory processing sensitivity. They absorb the emotional state of those around them, whether they want to or not. If the crowd is generally happy, they might feel a confusing buzz of forced joy. But if there's underlying tension, frustration, or negativity, even if it's unspoken, they feel it deeply, like a heavy blanket. This isn't a choice. It's how they are wired. To protect their own peace of mind and keep their inner compass clear, they often need to limit their exposure to these dense, emotional environments. It's not about being aloof or unfriendly. It's a necessary act of self-preservation, allowing them to function without being constantly swamped by the emotional weather of everyone else. Think of it like an allergy. Some people are allergic to pollen and need to avoid fields of flowers, while these individuals are sensitive to dense emotional atmospheres and need to manage their exposure to large crowds. Furthermore, many who tread a unique path often feel like they are operating on a completely different wavelength or vibrational frequency compared to the general populace. It's like they're tuned into a specific radio station that plays a unique kind of music, a station that most other people's radios can't quite pick up, or perhaps aren't even trying to find. When they are around a lot of people who are all tuned into more common, louder stations, focused on daily gossip, superficial trends, or societal pressures that don't resonate with the chosen one's deeper sense of purpose, it can feel incredibly alienating. It's not that the other stations are bad, but they simply don't align with the frequency that nurtures and energizes the chosen one. This mismatch can make interactions feel forced, shallow, or like they are trying to communicate through a thick fog where their words and intentions get distorted. They might find themselves unable to genuinely connect or engage in conversations that feel meaningless to their core mission or understanding of the world. This difference in vibration isn't about superiority, it's about compatibility. Imagine trying to run a highly sensitive piece of scientific equipment in an environment filled with loud noises and shaking. It just wouldn't work properly. Similarly, individuals who are focused on inner growth, spiritual insights, or a specific mission that requires clarity in a certain energetic state, find that chaotic or misaligned group energies can disrupt their delicate inner balance. They thrive in environments and with people who resonate with their particular frequency, or at least respect their need for a different kind of energetic space. Large crowds often represent a cacophony of mixed and often lower, more chaotic vibrations. making it difficult for the Chosen One to maintain their own clarity and connection to their purpose. They might feel their own energy dimming or becoming agitated in such settings, prompting a natural instinct to withdraw to a more harmonious environment. If this idea of different energies resonates with you, drop a comment below sharing your experience. One of the most significant reasons Chosen Ones often avoid large crowds is their unwavering, often subconscious, dedication to a unique purpose or mission. These individuals frequently feel an inner calling, a deep-seated drive to accomplish something specific. Whether it's creating art that heals, innovating solutions to complex problems, guiding others spiritually, or simply living a life that embodies a rare set of principles. This mission isn't just a job or a hobby, it's the very core of their being, the guiding star of their existence. Being immersed in large groups, with all the distractions, small talk, and diverse agendas that come with them, can feel like a significant detour from this sacred path. It's not that they see themselves as more important, but their focus is intensely internal and directed towards their specific work or way of being in the world. Think of an Olympic athlete in the final weeks of training for their gold medal event. They become incredibly focused, managing their time, energy, and interactions with meticulous care. Every decision is weighed against whether it helps or hinders their ultimate goal. For a Chosen One, life often feels like this continuous state of preparation and execution for their mission. Casual social gatherings, office politics, or the general noise of societal expectations can seem like unnecessary diversions that sap precious energy and mental space that could be better invested in their calling. They might perceive many common social interactions as being centered around topics or activities that don't contribute to their growth or the fulfillment of their purpose, making such engagements feel like a waste of their limited and valuable resources. This isn't antisocial behavior, it's mission-focused living, where every choice, including who to spend time with, is filtered through the lens of their unique responsibilities. Another critical factor is the profound energy drain that Chosen Ones experience in crowded environments. It's more than just feeling tired after a party. It's a deep, pervasive depletion of their vital life force. Because they are often highly sensitive and empathetic, they don't just observe the energies around them. They often unconsciously absorb and process them. In a large group, this means taking on bits and pieces of everyone's stress, excitement, anxiety, and joy. Imagine carrying not only your own backpack, but also having everyone you pass add a small stone to it. After a while, even if each stone is small, the cumulative weight becomes unbearable. This is akin to what Chosen Ones feel. Their energetic systems are working overtime to filter and manage the influx of external energies, leaving them feeling exhausted, foggy-headed, and sometimes even physically unwell. This energy drain is particularly pronounced when the surrounding energies are chaotic, negative, or simply misaligned with their own. They might feel like a battery that's being rapidly depleted, and once drained, it takes a significant amount of solitude and quiet to recharge. This isn't a flaw in their design. It's a consequence of their heightened awareness and porous energetic boundaries. To protect their energy, which is essential for their well-being and their ability to fulfill their unique purpose, they naturally gravitate towards less stimulating environments and more intentional, one-on-one interactions, where the energetic exchange is more balanced and less overwhelming. Their need to withdraw isn't a rejection of others, but a fundamental requirement to maintain their own energetic integrity and continue functioning effectively in the world. Have you ever felt completely drained after being in a crowd for no apparent reason? Let us know by subscribing to the channel for more insights like this. Misunderstanding and judgment are also significant factors that lead Chosen Ones to prefer smaller circles or solitude. Because their perspectives, priorities, and ways of life often differ markedly from the mainstream, they frequently find themselves being misunderstood, dismissed, or even subtly judged by those who don't share their depth of insight or unique worldview. They might talk about concepts that others find strange, express truths that make people uncomfortable, or make life choices that defy conventional expectations. This can lead to feelings of alienation and the frustrating experience of constantly having to explain or defend themselves, which is exhausting and counterproductive to their inner work. It's like speaking a different language. Even if you try to translate, the full meaning and nuance are often lost, leading to misinterpretations and a sense of not truly being seen or heard. When your reality is built on a deeper understanding of interconnectedness, purpose, or subtle energies, and you're surrounded by people primarily focused on material achievements or superficial concerns, the gap in understanding can be immense. Chosen ones may find that their insights are met with skepticism, ridicule, or even fear. This isn't necessarily malicious on the part of others. It's often just a lack of awareness or a different level of consciousness. However, the cumulative effect of being misunderstood can make large social gatherings feel like walking through a field of potential judgment. To avoid this constant friction and the emotional toll it takes, they might choose to engage more selectively with people who are on a similar wavelength, or at least open-minded enough to respect differences without judgment. This self-protection allows them to preserve their inner clarity and avoid the dampening effect of external negativity or incomprehension, ensuring they can continue to cultivate their unique gifts. A crucial aspect of why chosen ones often seek solitude is their profound need for alone time to achieve clarity, receive inspiration, and recharge their sensitive systems. Their inner worlds are rich and complex, and it is in stillness, away from the clamor of the external world, that they can best connect with their intuition, process their experiences, and hear the subtle whispers of guidance related to their purpose. Large crowds and constant social interaction create too much noise, both externally and internally, making it difficult to access these deeper states of awareness. Think of it like trying to see the stars in the middle of a brightly lit city. The light pollution obscures the view. Solitude provides the dark sky necessary for their inner stars, their insights and inspirations, to become visible and clear. This need for solitude is not about loneliness. It's about communion with a deeper part of themselves and, for some, with a higher source of wisdom. During these periods of quiet contemplation, they integrate information, solve problems that their conscious mind has been wrestling with, and receive creative downloads or intuitive nudges that guide their next steps. It's a time for mental and spiritual housekeeping, for recalibrating their inner compass, and for refilling their energetic reserves, which, as we've discussed, can be quickly depleted in group settings. For the chosen one, solitude is not an empty space, but a fertile ground for growth, creativity, and connection to their core mission. It's an essential practice, as vital as food and water, for maintaining their well-being and their ability to contribute their unique gifts to the world. They understand that to show up authentically and powerfully when they do engage, they first need to retreat and replenish. Moreover, chosen ones are often subconsciously, or sometimes very consciously, protective of their unique gift, their energy, or their specific vibration. They understand, perhaps not always in words but in feeling, that their abilities, insights, or the delicate energetic balance they maintain can be vulnerable to dilution or contamination if they are not careful about their associations. Imagine a musician with perfect pitch. Being constantly exposed to out-of-tune instruments could potentially affect their own precise sense of hearing over time. Similarly, individuals who carry a high or specific energetic frequency can find that being immersed in dense, chaotic, or negative energies can tarnish their own clarity, dim their inner light, or make it harder to access their unique talents. It's not about feeling superior, but about recognizing the preciousness and sometimes the fragility of what they carry. This protectiveness can manifest as being highly selective about who they spend their time with and the environments they frequent. They might gravitate towards people who uplift, inspire, and understand them, or at least respect their need for a certain kind of energetic hygiene. Being around a lot of people, especially those who are cynical, draining, or simply vibrating at a vastly different frequency, can feel like swimming against a strong current, requiring immense effort just to stay in place, let alone make progress on their own path. Therefore, limiting exposure to such influences is a wise strategy for self-preservation and for safeguarding the integrity of their purpose. It's an act of stewardship over the gifts they've been given, ensuring they can use them effectively and purely, without undue interference or distortion from external sources. Have you ever felt the need to protect your own energy or ideas from outside influences? Press the like button if you can relate to this protective instinct. It is absolutely crucial to understand that this need for fewer interactions or more solitude does not mean chosen ones are antisocial, misanthropic, or that they dislike people. On the contrary, many of them feel a deep love and compassion for humanity, and their unique purpose is often geared towards serving others in some way. However, their social engagement tends to be more selective and intentional. They prioritize quality over quantity in their relationships, seeking connections that are authentic, meaningful, and energetically aligned. They would rather have a few deep, nourishing bonds than a multitude of superficial acquaintances. This is not about snobbery. It's about recognizing that their energy and time are precious resources that need to be invested wisely to support their well-being and their mission. Think of it as the difference between a floodlight and a laser beam. A floodlight scatters its light over a wide area, while a laser focuses its energy with precision and power. Chosen ones often operate more like the laser, directing their social energy towards interactions that hold genuine significance and resonance. They might avoid large, impersonal gatherings but thrive in intimate settings where they can connect on a deeper level, share ideas, and offer their support in a more focused way. Their apparent aloofness in crowded situations is often a misunderstanding of their need to manage their sensitivity and conserve their energy for the interactions and endeavors that truly matter to their path. They are not rejecting people, they are choosing their engagements with a greater degree of awareness and purpose, ensuring that their social life enhances rather than detracts from their core calling. The very nature of having a unique and often challenging path means that chosen ones require an environment conducive to deep thought and introspection. Their journey frequently involves navigating uncharted territory, questioning societal norms, and developing unconventional solutions or perspectives. This kind of pioneering work cannot easily be done amidst the constant chatter and distractions of large groups. They need mental space to ponder complex ideas, connect disparate pieces of information, and listen to the quiet voice of their intuition, which is often drowned out in noisy, crowded settings. This inner work is essential for their growth and for the unfolding of their unique contributions to the world. It's not just about avoiding negative energies, but also about creating a positive, fertile ground for their own mental and spiritual processes to flourish. Imagine a scientist trying to solve a complex equation, or an artist trying to bring a delicate vision to life. They typically need quiet and concentration, free from interruptions. The problems or creations that chosen ones are working on are often internal or related to their life's purpose, requiring a similar level of focused attention. Constant social demands or the need to navigate group dynamics can fragment their concentration and pull them away from this vital inner work. Therefore, their preference for solitude or smaller groups is not a sign of social inadequacy, but rather a testament to the seriousness with which they approach their inner development and their external mission. They understand that the quality of their outer contributions is directly proportional to the depth and clarity of their inner landscape, which is best cultivated in less distracting environments. Furthermore, the energetic signature of a chosen one is often quite distinct, and this uniqueness can be unconsciously unsettling or even subtly activating for those around them who are not accustomed to it, or who are not comfortable with their own deeper truths. This isn't the chosen one's fault, nor is it necessarily the fault of others, but it's a dynamic that can make group interactions feel strained or subtly charged. People might react to their energy in ways they don't even understand, perhaps feeling an inexplicable need to challenge them, to overshare, or to project their own insecurities onto them. The chosen one, with their heightened sensitivity, picks up on these subtle undercurrents, which can make being in crowds feel like navigating an invisible obstacle course. They might feel like a tuning fork that causes other, less stable structures around them to resonate uncomfortably. This dynamic means that even if no one is overtly negative or judgmental, the sheer energetic messiness or the unacknowledged projections within a large group can be taxing. Chosen ones often act as energetic mirrors, reflecting back to people the things they haven't dealt with in themselves, and this can happen without any conscious intention on the chosen one's part. While this mirroring can be a catalyst for growth for others, it can be a heavy burden for the individual who is constantly triggering these reactions simply by being themselves. To avoid this constant energetic interplay and the feeling of being a walking trigger, they might naturally limit their exposure to dense collections of diverse, unmanaged energies, preferring spaces where the energetic field is clearer or more harmonious. If you've ever felt like your presence alone sometimes makes others uncomfortable or reactive, let us know by commenting below. You're not alone in this experience. The path of a chosen one is also frequently one of accelerated learning and intense personal evolution. They are often here to break old patterns, heal ancestral wounds, or pioneer new ways of thinking and being. This rapid growth trajectory means they are constantly processing, integrating, and shedding old layers of themselves. This intense inner work requires a lot of energy and can make them feel quite raw and vulnerable at times, much like a caterpillar in its chrysalis. During these periods of profound transformation, being in large crowds can feel particularly abrasive and disruptive. The external stimuli and the demands of social interaction can interfere with the delicate inner processes of metamorphosis. They need a safe, quiet space where they can undergo these changes without the added pressure of navigating complex social dynamics. Think of it like recovering from a significant surgery. You wouldn't want to be in a bustling marketplace during your healing period. You'd need rest, quiet, and a controlled environment. For chosen ones, their spiritual and psychological growth spurts can be just as demanding and require similar conditions for optimal healing and integration. Crowds can introduce too much unpredictable energy, too many demands on their attention, and too much potential for triggering old wounds before they are fully healed. Their need for solitude or very selective company during these times is not a sign of weakness, but an indication of the profound and often challenging inner work they are undertaking. It's a way of honoring their own growth process and ensuring they emerge from their transformations stronger and clearer. Another layer to consider is the concept of energetic sovereignty. Chosen ones, as they mature in their understanding of themselves and their sensitivities, often learn the importance of maintaining control over their own energetic field. This isn't about being controlling of others, but about being responsible for their own inner state and not allowing external energies to easily sway or deplete them. Being in large crowds, especially for prolonged periods, can feel like a constant battle to maintain this energetic sovereignty. It's like trying to keep your own house clean while hundreds of people are constantly walking through it with muddy shoes. No matter how much you try to shield or protect yourself, some level of energetic mess is likely to intrude. Therefore, choosing to limit exposure to such environments is an act of maintaining their energetic integrity. It's about creating boundaries that allow them to keep their inner space clear, peaceful, and aligned with their higher purpose. This clarity is essential for their intuition to function optimally, for their creativity to flow, and for their healing abilities, if that is part of their path, to remain pure and effective. They learn that not all energies are beneficial for them, and that discernment in their associations is key to their well-being. This doesn't mean they live in a bubble, but it does mean they are mindful of the energetic cost of their interactions and choose environments that support rather than detract from their inner harmony and the mission they are here to fulfill. This mindful management of their energy is a hallmark of their journey. Consider also that the journey of a chosen one often involves holding a vision for a better future or a different way of being, a vision that might be far ahead of its time or radically different from current societal norms. To incubate and nurture this vision, to keep it pure and strong, they often need to protect it from the skepticism, doubt, or outright opposition that can come from a world not yet ready to embrace it. Large crowds are often a microcosm of society, reflecting prevailing thought patterns and collective consciousness. Exposing a nascent, delicate vision to this broad spectrum of energies can be like putting a tiny seedling in the path of a hurricane. The vision can be trampled, diluted, or the chosen one themselves can become discouraged by the lack of understanding or support. Therefore, their withdrawal is sometimes a strategic retreat to a safe harbor, where their unique ideas and ideals can be cultivated without premature exposure to harsh or misaligned energies. In the company of a select few who resonate with their vision, or in the sanctuary of solitude, they can refine their understanding, strengthen their resolve, and develop the strategies needed to eventually bring their vision to the world in a more robust and impactful way. This isn't about hiding, but about wise incubation. Just as a bird carefully guards its eggs until they are ready to hatch, a chosen one often guards their precious insights and missions until they are strong enough to withstand the complexities and challenges of broader engagement. Their periods of separation are often periods of intense preparation and refinement. Have you ever felt you needed to protect a precious idea from the world until it was ready? hit that subscribe button if you want to explore more about nurturing your unique path. The sheer volume of information, not just emotional, but also mental and sensory, in a crowded place can be overwhelming for someone whose mind is already processing a great deal of internal or mission-related data. Chosen ones often have highly active minds, constantly analyzing, synthesizing, and seeking deeper understanding. Their brains are like powerful computers running complex programs related to their purpose. When they enter a crowded environment, they are suddenly bombarded with an enormous amount of new data streams, snippets of conversations, facial expressions, body language, background noises, smells, and the overall energetic hum of the place. This external data can create a system overload, interfering with their internal processing and making it difficult to maintain focus on what is truly important to them. Imagine trying to write a detailed research paper while simultaneously listening to 10 different news broadcasts, watching 3 different movies, and having people constantly ask you unrelated questions. It would be nearly impossible to produce coherent work. For a chosen one, navigating a crowd can feel similarly chaotic and unproductive. Their internal signal, their intuition, their connection to their purpose, their own thoughts, gets lost in the noise of the external environment. To maintain their mental clarity and continue their important inner work, they instinctively seek out quieter, less stimulating settings where they can hear themselves think and stay connected to their internal guidance system. This isn't about an inability to multitask, but a recognition that their primary tasks are often deeply internal and require a certain level of calm and focus that crowds rarely offer. Moreover, chosen ones often have a very clear sense of their own energy and how different environments and interactions affect it. They become attuned to what uplifts them and what drains them, what aligns with their purpose and what pulls them off course. Through experience, they learn that large, undifferentiated crowds often have a net draining or misaligning effect. It's not that every single person in the crowd is negative, but the overall energetic signature of such gatherings, often characterized by superficiality, distraction, or even low-level anxiety and stress, is simply not compatible with the state they need to maintain to be at their best. They are, in a sense, connoisseurs of energy, and they choose their energetic diet carefully. This discernment is a sign of self-awareness and self-respect. They understand that their energy is their most valuable resource, the fuel for their mission and their well-being. Wasting it in environments or interactions that offer little nourishment or alignment is simply not a wise use of this precious commodity. So they might politely decline invitations to large parties or opt out of overwhelming social events, not out of disdain, but out of a deep understanding of their own energetic needs and priorities. They are choosing to invest their energy where it will have the most positive impact, both for themselves and for the work they are here to do. This conscious management of their energetic expenditure is a key strategy for long-term effectiveness and fulfillment on their unique path. It's also worth noting that the path of a chosen one can sometimes be a lonely one, precisely because they are different. While they might crave deep connection, the opportunities for that specific kind of resonant connection can be rare. Being in a large crowd, paradoxically, can sometimes amplify this feeling of loneliness. Surrounded by many people with whom they feel little genuine connection, the absence of true understanding or shared wavelength becomes even more apparent. It's the feeling of being alone in a crowd, which can be more disheartening than being physically alone, but connected to oneself or a higher purpose. In solitude, or with a few carefully chosen companions, they can find a sense of belonging and understanding that is often absent in larger, more impersonal groups. Therefore, their avoidance of crowds can also be a way to avoid the painful reminder of this existential loneliness, or the difficulty of finding their true tribe. Instead of subjecting themselves to interactions that highlight their differences or leave them feeling more isolated, they choose environments where they can either be comfortably alone with their thoughts and mission, or genuinely connect with the few individuals who truly see and appreciate them for who they are. This isn't about giving up on connection, but about seeking it in ways that are authentic and nourishing, rather than engaging in social activities that might look like connection on the surface but leave them feeling empty or misunderstood on a deeper level. Their choices are often about preserving their emotional and spiritual well-being, in a world that doesn't always make it easy for unique souls to thrive. If you've ever felt more alone in a crowd than when you're by yourself, hit that like button. It's a surprisingly common feeling for many. Chosen ones are often on a journey of peeling back layers of conditioning and societal expectation to uncover their most authentic selves. This process requires intense honesty, courage, and a willingness to be different. Large crowds often represent the embodiment of societal norms, collective beliefs, and peer pressure. Being immersed in such environments can feel like being pulled back into the very matrix of conformity they are trying to transcend. The subtle and sometimes not so subtle pressures to fit in, to say the right thing, to wear the right clothes, or to be interested in the same things as everyone else can be particularly challenging for someone who is striving for radical authenticity. It's like trying to walk upstream against a powerful current of collective energy that wants to sweep them back into familiar, but ultimately unfulfilling, patterns. To protect their hard-won authenticity and continue their journey of self-discovery and self-actualization, they often need to create space between themselves and these powerful currents of collective consciousness. This doesn't mean they reject society entirely, but they engage with it more consciously and selectively, choosing when and how to participate rather than being passively swept along. Solitude or small, aligned groups provide a supportive environment where they can hear their own voice, honor their own truth, and reinforce their commitment to living authentically, even if it means standing apart from the crowd. This deliberate distancing is not an act of rebellion for its own sake, but a necessary measure to safeguard their journey towards becoming the truest and most impactful version of themselves. Furthermore, the heightened senses of a chosen one don't just apply to emotions. They can also apply to physical stimuli. Loud noises, bright flashing lights, strong smells, and the general chaotic movement of a crowd can be incredibly jarring and overwhelming for their nervous systems. What might be exciting or energizing for some can be a sensory assault for others. This is often linked to sensory processing sensitivity, SPS, a trait where the brain processes sensory information more deeply and intensely. For someone with high SPS, a crowded mall, a noisy concert, or even a bustling office can trigger a state of overstimulation, leading to anxiety, fatigue, and a desperate need to withdraw to a calmer, more predictable environment. This isn't a matter of being overly dramatic or too sensitive in a negative way. It's a genuine neurological difference in how their brains are wired. They are taking in more information per second from their environment than the average person, and their systems can quickly become overloaded. To cope with this, they naturally learn to avoid or limit their time in environments that are likely to cause sensory overload. Their preference for quieter, more serene settings is therefore not just an emotional or energetic need, but often a physiological one as well. They are seeking environments that allow their nervous systems to remain in a state of balance, which is crucial for their overall well-being and their ability to function effectively in all areas of their life. Chosen ones often carry a significant amount of light, wisdom, or a higher vibrational frequency. While this is ultimately a gift to the world, it can also make them targets for what some describe as energy vampires, or individuals who unconsciously, or sometimes consciously, latch onto and drain the energy of others. These individuals are often drawn to the brightness and vitality of chosen ones, much like moths to a flame. In a large crowd, it becomes much harder to discern who is who, and to protect oneself from these draining interactions. The anonymity of a crowd can make it easier for such dynamics to play out without the chosen one even realizing what is happening until they feel suddenly depleted, anxious, or uncharacteristically negative. By limiting their exposure to large, undifferentiated groups, chosen ones reduce their vulnerability to these kinds of parasitic energetic exchanges. They are not being paranoid. They are often simply experienced in recognizing the feeling of being energetically drained by certain types of people or environments. Choosing smaller, more intimate settings or the company of those they know and trust allows for a more conscious and reciprocal exchange of energy. It's about creating a safe, energetic space where their light can shine without being siphoned off or dimmed by those who are not yet able to generate their own. This selective association is a key aspect of their self-care and their ability to sustain their energy for their true purpose. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had an experience where you felt your energy being drained by someone. The deep sense of responsibility that often accompanies being a chosen one also plays a role. They feel a profound obligation to their mission, to their growth, and often to the well-being of others in a specific way. This isn't an egotistical sense of self-importance, but a humble awareness of the unique role they are meant to play. To fulfill this responsibility effectively, they need to be discerning about how they spend their time and energy. Engaging in frivolous or meaningless social interactions, or spending too much time in environments that detract from their focus, can feel like a betrayal of this sacred responsibility. It's like a lifeguard who knows they need to stay alert and conserve their strength for when a real emergency arises, rather than exhausting themselves with trivial matters. This sense of duty compels them to prioritize activities and interactions that align with their higher calling. Large crowds and the social dynamics within them often don't fit into this priority list. They might see such gatherings as a poor investment of their limited resources that could be better used for meditation, learning, creating, healing, or engaging in deep, meaningful conversations with those who can support or collaborate on their mission. Their choices are therefore often driven by a profound commitment to making the most of their unique potential and to fulfilling the purpose they feel so strongly within them. This isn't about judging others' choices, but about making the choices that are right for their own specific and often demanding path. Ultimately, the reason chosen ones cannot be around a lot of people often boils down to the simple fact that their path is inherently different, and this difference requires a different way of living and interacting with the world. They are not here to follow the beaten track, but to forge new ones. They are not here to blend in, but to stand out in their own unique way, often by quietly embodying a different set of values or a higher level of consciousness. This journey of differentiation naturally leads to a degree of separation, not as a rejection of humanity, but as a necessary condition for cultivating what is unique within them. Their solitude or selective sociability is often a reflection of the inner work they are doing, the sensitivities they manage, and the unique mission they are striving to fulfill. It's a sign of their commitment to their path, a path that, while sometimes lonely, is also rich with purpose and meaning. As we've explored, from intense empathy and energetic sensitivity to a profound dedication to a unique mission, the reasons are many and interconnected. It's about preserving their energy, maintaining clarity, protecting their gifts, and staying true to an inner calling that often sets them apart. This isn't a curse, but a characteristic of a path less traveled, one that requires careful navigation and a deep understanding of one's own needs. For those who resonate with this, know that your need for space is valid and vital. It allows you to recharge, to connect with your truth, and to continue being the unique, purposeful individual you are meant to be. The world needs your distinct light, and often, that light is best cultivated in the quiet spaces, away from the overwhelming noise of the crowd, so it can shine even brighter when the time is right. If this exploration has shed some light on your own experiences, or helped you understand someone in your life who seems to fit this description, please consider subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into the less discussed aspects of personal growth and unique life paths. We aim to create a community where such experiences are understood and validated. Remember, your journey is your own, and the way you navigate your social world should honor your deepest needs and your highest calling. Thank you for joining us today and for being open to understanding the often unseen realities of those who walk a different path. We appreciate your time and your willingness to explore these important ideas with us. Click that notification bell too, so you don't miss our next video, where we delve into how to protect your energy in situations where you can't avoid crowds.